Today's market economy suffers from play deprivation. Can we recover the sense of settled place and conviviality that communities knew before the demands of economic growth descended like a frost on public joy?
Today they're trying to recover some of that public joy in the unlikely setting of London's bus-jammed Tooting Broadway.
Tooting's a very, 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 very busy town centre. People are accustomed to seeing the buses here all the time, every day, coming and going, and therefore there's something fixed about it. There's nothing fixed about it. The buses have left today, and therefore the open space allows us to conjure and play with other possibilities. Today, we're transforming this space into a pop-up village green. And we're going to see what happens. Essentially, it's an invitation to people to enjoy a space for play, connection and possibility, and to reimagine what this place could be. It sits within that broader context of beginning this long road to totally reinventing how our world can be.
Country road, take me home to the place I belong, Tooting Broadway, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road, take me home.
And the inspiration for today comes from a radical economist, David Fleming, who devoted his life to exploring how we could reinvent our common future. He set out his ideas in what he called a dictionary for the future and how to survive it, focusing on some unexpected topics for an economist, like carnival.
Historically, carnival spanned the buffoonery of the Feast of Fools, the erotic Saturnalia of Rome, the holy holidays of the church's calendar, all the local days of festival in which communities for most of history have put down their work and concentrated on enjoying themselves.
And I love this event of saying, what would happen if that place, which is full of buses and diesel fumes and noise, and that nobody goes, nobody has conversation there, nothing convivial ever happens there, what would happen if we turned that into a village green? And to not just ask the question, but then to say, so, should we try? I can sort of imagine David wandering around here. The thing that I always loved about David's work and David's writing was that although he was an economist kind of by training, he was much more than that. It was underpinned by a vision of what we could create out of the mess that all the other economists have created, the sort of car crash that will inevitably result from conventional economics, or what comes afterwards. And do we want to be looking forward with a very dystopian vision, or actually do we want to create from that a vision where we can have carnivals and parties and where the food is better and the conversation is better? And that always underpinned his approach to economics, the idea that actually this is the opportunity to really create something better.
And carnival is about more than public joy and fun and games. Traditionally, it was under the sway of the god Dionysus, the lord of misrule, overturning the established order, stepping briefly over the edge of chaos.
I think carnival is a moment of disruption. It's when the ordinary suddenly flips over on its head. And for reasons that people don't always understand, they come out of it changed. And I think the main thing is that we tap into, and I think this is what David was very good at expressing, I think the emotion that we find in ourselves at the moment, we find reflected all around us, and therefore it becomes something collective. And we suddenly realise that, yes, we have our lives, but we are connected. And I think that's where a community can find itself in those moments. And it may just be moments, but I think it's a moment of, we are out of ourselves. But in that moment of surprise and out of ourselfness, I think comes a new sense of what is possible and how a community can recreate and renew itself.